Hello. Today's video may be one of the most important videos I've made. I'm not sure. I don't want to hype it up too hard, but I did receive a couple of comments, emails from a person who suggested I make a video about this topic. Let me back up for just a second to say today is my 1-year anniversary of doing the Wim Hof method every day for 1 year. And it has changed my life tremendously. It's given me renewed faith and hope that I will actually be able to conquer my health condition of having a brain tumor. This is almost 7 years in with this, probably 6.5 years since my diagnosis. And this past year has been nothing shy of amazing for me. I was hospitalized not long ago, going through a pretty stressful situation in the throes of winter, which can be a struggle, but I've felt very positive. I was under a lot of stress from moving recently and preparing for a big trip to South America that's coming up soon. So I've always liked to bite off as much as I can chew, sometimes a little more. So I pushed myself, and last year, a year ago, I had been about a month or two back from being home from visiting family in Italy, and I was depressed because I was having some personal issues. I was sad to leave my cousin who was in bad health and has since passed away, and just really missed Italy because I loved it so much and I had such a great time. And then I come back to winter and a wet, dismal atmosphere where I was feeling depressed from being over a lot of things that were wonderful at the time. So depression's real, seasonal affectiveness disorder is real. But that being said, I was determined to not let that stop me. So I scoured everywhere I could find, and I came across this man named Wim Hof who changed my life. I'm not saying Wim Hof is the focus of what I'm telling you today, but this is my story, and I just want to give you a little insight about it. I started doing what Wim Hof, if you haven't heard of him, look him up and find out as much as you can about him and consider maybe taking away some of what he has to offer and teach. I learned that through breath work, mindfulness and meditation, and cold therapy that I could make some serious changes in my life. It wasn't just this because, as sometimes things change in your life for the good or the bad, it snowballs into many other things. So I also started implementing other lifestyle health choices that really greatly impacted me for the better. So for example, I started doing intermittent fasting. I started meditating every day, became twice daily, multiple times throughout the day. I just tried new things with diet and exercise and mindfulness and sleep, which these are a lot of my 4 pillars of health: diet, exercise, sleep, and meditation and mindfulness. So, which is one. There's others too, like nature, exposure, and interdependency of community. But just for the basics there, I tinkered with a lot of those, and I found much success. So I've talked a lot about, what I do with my diet, how I live, some of my rituals in the morning, and things that have helped me out a lot, and some of my opinions and whatnot. But one thing that I haven't talked about in a while, and I talked about this more when things were not going well for me, but I was documenting my oligodendroglioma brain tumor that I was diagnosed with in 2013. Now 6.5 years later, working through epilepsy and nerve issues and pain and different things, sleep sleep issues. One thing that I know I need to discuss a little bit, and I want to speak of, because I know there's people who might be out there watching that are going through a situation with a brain tumor or a terminal condition or depression or just something really weighted that's really hard, and I know what that feels like. So I can empathize with that feeling of hopelessness, that feeling of depression, that feeling of being smothered and anxious, and just sometimes even just feeling like you want to die. A person messaged me and said, I would like it if you could speak onto a person who is in such a bad way that they want to take their own life. And I'm not a mental health counselor, but I do go to therapy on a weekly basis. And I'm not saying as though that qualifies me. I just want to say that I know the importance of it, to having someone that you can talk to, a sounding board for your feelings and emotions, someone that can understand where you're coming from, and to know that you are not alone. Because this life can be very challenging. This life can kill you. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, because that's for you to decide. But for me, I've always wanted to live, even when I didn't want to live, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to feel well enough and have my life together enough so that I didn't have to feel like I wanted to die anymore. And yes, there was a time in my life where I prayed for my own death because I was so miserable, because I didn't have all of the pieces around me or within me to overcome what I felt inside that was so, at the time, so insurmountable, so devastating. And it was a dull, grinding pain. It could be physical pain. That's just a manifestation of what we are. We are a connection to light, to this world that we are a part of. We are intrinsically tied. But aside from that, if you feel like you want to die, believe me, I know what that feels like. And it is not something that is just for show. Because a lot of people will say that you post publicly on social media about, how terrible their life is. And I often recognize that there's people out there who don't speak much of what they're going through, who are so close to killing themselves or doing something to themselves or others. And it just makes me sad. I feel sad, I should say. I feel sad because every single human being is a miracle. And that sounds like maybe a little woo-woo or hokey, but it's true. If you think about all of the slim chances that came together for you to be born, for you to be conceived, and then for you to be born, and then for you to live every day, and all those heartbeats, and all those breaths, and all those 320 trillion cells, or whatever it is, that your body was able to keep continually regenerating so that you could still be here alive, and realize the miracle that you are for being alive, then maybe if you could grasp that, the magnitude of that fact, that concept, you realize how important you really are. Even if you have family or a relationship or a lack thereof, that reminds you constantly that your life isn't good and not worth it. Pain, sickness, and illness that tell you that you're not worth it. It's not worth it. That's bullshit, because you are. And I look back on those times and it still makes me emotional to think I really thought that I wanted to die. Be careful what you wish for. This was before I had a brain tumor. I wanted to die. And then I got a brain tumor and all I want to do is live. And when you want to live, but you don't want to live with pain, you don't want to live with what comes along with having to live. But I'm here to tell you that if you push on and through, you will come to a point where, like for me, the clouds parted and the sun shined into my face, literally, and I took that as a sign that I am meant to be here and I am meant to fight for my life at all costs and to love myself and to love others. And the more I love and give to others each day, the more that I realize how much value my life has. Now, this being said, I'm no shaman, I'm no guru, I'm no priest of anything. I'm just a human being, an animal, a primate. I'm just a speck of dust in this multi-faceted existence. But I'm so happy to be here, to be able to have this blip of time before it's gone forever. And there's only this one right now. So I encourage you to redirect your focus to all the things that are failing in your life, not working out for you, the pain that you feel, the suffering that you're going through. Because as Buddha teaches, and I'm not religious, but Buddhism has a lot of good lessons. Buddha teaches that life is suffering, and it's true. It's where you point your attention is where you are able to extrapolate meaning. So where you're looking is what you see. Are you looking into the abyss, into the past, into a negative narrative? Or are you looking forward into the potential and the gift that you've been bestowed? You didn't happen by accident. Science can explain so much and make such a difference on how we can experience life. We use lots of different terms to describe what this all is. What is all of this? But there's something more that what we know of as science can't explain. And I'm not saying what that is. I don't know. All I know is I don't know. But what I do know is that you got one go round here. Maybe you get reincarnated as a cricket or as another version of you to try it over and over again as many times. But I'm not putting my chips on that happening because I don't know. All I know is that that one little sperm made it to that one little egg, and that made you, and you made it. So let's not forget that. Even if you were born without limbs, or you have some kind of genetic disease or disorder, or you developed it later on, there's a soul within the side of you, whatever that means, a spirit, a chi. And that is you. You're not your body, you're not your mind, you're you, you're your essence of what you are. And once you realize that, maybe, just maybe, you can find meaning in your life enough to find to find some level of joy and appreciation and gratitude, because gratitude is what makes life worth it. And if you can be grateful for whatever it is, then life is good. I have my journal here every day. This is my gratitude journal. I used to do it. I started doing it again on the 12th of December. So now I'm back, and I wrote today. I'll share some of what I wrote throughout the week. Some things are silly. Some things are heavy. But these are just things to be grateful for, because when you write something down, it becomes into existence. Just like when you speak things, they come into existence. But when you write them, they're on paper. So they're more realized. So my friends, I write down the names of my friends, like Peter and Rose and Dave, and my mom, and playing games of cribbage with my mom and my friends. Comedian Sebastian Maniscalco. He's funny to me. I like him. Might be silly to you. I don't know. I took a great cold shower that I really pushed through one day, and it was a challenge, and I did it. And I was grateful for that. Grateful for meeting a new naturopathic doctor that taught me some new things. I was grateful for my juicer that I bought. I bought a used juicer when mine broke. I was very grateful for that. These are some examples. I'm just grateful for people that I found in my life. I found love. I'm grateful for Oklahoma because I have some good friends there. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my efforts. I'm grateful for the sunshine. Even on days like today where it's raining out and gray, the sun is still there shining. There's still vitamin D coming in. I'm grateful for the heartaches that I felt in the past that have made me a stronger human being. My phone's dinging here. I am grateful for connecting with others who are struggling and to help them find encouragement and to help me find encouragement from that back and forth sharing. I'm grateful for the love of my family. I'm grateful for people that I've found on YouTube that I watch that inspire me. I'm grateful for my friend Aaron and my friend Sean and my friend Polly, and for comedian Jimmy Dore. I'm grateful for the hope in the socio-political landscape that I see ahead. I'm grateful for the movie I was able to go out to with my friends. I was grateful for the fact that I can tie my shoe by myself because I know there's people out there that can't do it. And I knew I couldn't do it when I was a little child. I'm grateful for my yoga instructor. I'm grateful for my friend Babs. I'm grateful for a fit body. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm pushing to become stronger. I'm grateful for the medicine that I have that can keep me from seizing. I'm grateful for Pablo in Colombia. I'm grateful for great food. I'm grateful for access to food, any food, but especially organic, healthy food. I'm grateful for David and Lucia at the Quest Center, and I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to wake up every day at early in the morning and feel refreshed and do my morning practice. I'm grateful for my old-timey friends James and Maureen and Jess and people that I knew from when I was a kid in Maine. And I'm grateful for 99-cent lemons and a pound lemons and 99-cent avocados at Natural Grocers, because that's a sick deal. All right, so you get the point. I'm grateful for a lot of things. But just to write 3 down in the morning and 3 at night in a book, doing that practice makes me feel like, okay, life is worth it. So if I get any doubt in my mind, I've got these things to fall back on. And I do keep track every day of my health and what's going on. Write poems. And appreciate the people who love me for who I am and will stick with me. Sometimes when you're not feeling well, you surround yourself with other people who are not feeling well, who reinforce this negative narrative. Surround yourself with people who support you in your dreams that are serving you positively. There's people that are always going to say, I know life sucks, my life sucks, and blah, blah, blah. And you get into that, you start hanging out with that, you start believing that negative narrative. Tell yourself today, this is the day I want it to change, even if I feel hopeless, even if I'm like mapping out a plan of how I'm going to end my life. Don't do it. Tell somebody. Tell somebody about your plan to do it. And get help in any way you can. I'm not talking about checking yourself in. Do what your heart tells you to do that's right for you to save your own body and mind, because that is the spacesuit and vessel for your existence, and we need you here. You are an essential part of this human species collective, and we need you. So thank you for watching this. I appreciate your time, and if there's any questions or comments, leave them below or send me a direct message, call me, and I wish you all the best. And I really do. I'm on your side, and believe me, I know how hard it is, but you got the strength in you. I know you do. So keep going and keep pushing, and never give up. Peace, my friends.